to have to take it that we are on,
Okay.
whether whether we're actually seeing it or not. Like, okay, this is kind of crazy. And y'all know, it seems like every time I switch the venues, so to speak, we wind up with a few little technical errors or situations. Let me check here. And I know, Kathy, that Kathy Weaver, you're usually on. You could even just send me a text message if you want and let me know that, yes, we're on, because neither Terry or I see us on the actual speaker page. Then it should be streaming live on there, even as we are speaking right now. If I refresh the page.
It normally shows up on my notifications to pop in too, and I don't see it. So, but we'll just go for it.
We'll just go for it. And then, as a matter of fact, I've got it.
Just hit record.
I've got it recording, so at least we can put it back on later, right?
Yes. There you go.
All right. So here's the thing. So first of all, Miss Terry is joining us this morning. So before we get into our topic, tell us about you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I love doing these now. I used to not like them so much, but getting better at it. So thanks. My name is Terry Beatty, and I actually live in Las Vegas, where Delinda is right now. Yes. I know, kind of back and forth. I have lived here for over 30 years. I can't believe it. It seems like just yesterday that I was moving here from Kansas. So kind of funny that that's where you live now. I've been married to my husband for almost 27 years, and we have 3 adult kids, and they all happen to be home with us right now because of this crazy time that we're all experiencing right now. So we've had to make some shifts, but we're living it, and it's working. And you know what? I'm so excited for what's on the other side of this for all of us. So that's me.
Yes. Well, and Carrie and I were talking yesterday, and we were just having such a great conversation that I said, well, why don't you just join me tomorrow morning? And so I really appreciate the kind of a last minute thought. And I know she has several other Zooms today. And that is, as we talk about things, that is one of the changes, one of the shifts that is happening with where we are in our country right now, or in the world, actually. I think the most important thing for us to remember and to think about is the fact that we're all together in this. You know, everybody goes through stuff. Everybody goes through crisis, whatever you want to call it. And I remember in Mary Kay, the first time I ever heard somebody say this, like, you're either in a crisis, just got out of a crisis, or getting ready to go through one. So it's like, that is just part of life. And there have been multiple times through our history, and I've watched a couple of really interesting shows on TV, not because I really can't stand listening to the news all the time. So sorry. Enough, I want to keep abreast of what's going on, but I just cannot. It causes anxiety the more you sit and you watch that stuff.
I did the same thing during 9/11, and I was glued, and I'm like, I can't do this time. I'm not. I like check in for a minute or two, and then I try to turn it off.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But a couple of the things that I've watched are how this compares to other big events in history. I guess then, if I recall correctly, so forgive me if I don't get exactly right, but I think it was 1918, the big flu that killed millions of people. Then we've had the swine flu and the H1N1, and there have been all kinds of different crisis events that have happened. And the bottom line is, there always are going to be. That is just part of life. And what are we going to do about it? Are we going to make lemonade? Okay. Or are we going to just suck on the lemons and talk about how bad it is and poor me? I mean, we have a choice here. Right. And that's what I want us to really talk about. And if you'll notice on my page, everybody, on the speaker page, on my personal page, and on our Fun Fearless page, I have a schedule of events, because I want you to know that I'm here for you. I want to help you think of options. I want to help you make lemonade. I want you to know that I'm here to serve you, to encourage you and uplift you. That's my calling. Y'all know that God has called me to uplift and encourage others. And so those are ways, in this new way, since I can't meet you for lunch like this Thursday, and I can't give you a physical hug, we're and one of our gals in our group said to me the other day, and I said, that is so great. I'm going to borrow it from you. She said, I'm physically distancing myself, but I'm socially connecting. So we can socially connect through Zoom and Facebook and all of those things. And just because we can't do it the way we always have doesn't mean we still can't be together, that we can't connect, that we can't share and uplift and all those things. Would you agree with that, Terry?
Absolutely. You know, when this all first started kind of coming down, watching the news, it kind of, you know, you're like, well, you know, everyone's like, it's just the flu. And then it started to get a little bit bigger, and then it started to get a little bigger. And then they called it a pandemic.
Yes, I remember when I first heard the word, it's like, what?
That like frightened me all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's just a word. What it means is this global. So it's a pandemic means that the epidemic is global. I did not know what that meant. So once I mean, pandemic to me is like the Black Plague, and we're all going to die, and this is the end. But, you know, as long as we do what they tell us to do, and we do social distancing, but we really don't do social distancing. We just stay away from each other, but we can still have fun. And so we've kind of just shifted the way we do our life. And I honestly believe that what we're going through right now is creating the new normal. I believe that we will all be able to give each other big giant hugs in the very near future, but I think it's shifting the way people are going to be doing business. You know, we have broken systems in this country. You know, our education system needs a lot of work, and our banking system and our political system. I mean, they all need a little tweaking. And I just kind of feel like this is God's way of going, okay, it's time for that tweak. You guys need to listen and you know, stick together, love one another, and we'll get through the other end of this.
Absolutely, because there is going to be an end. You know, I mean, there is, and it's like, what are we going to do in the meantime? You know, are we going to look at where we are and begin to look at what are some changes that we can make? How are we going to handle being at home? Now, I was thinking last night, actually after our talk, that there's really several different groups of people. So there's those of us who are entrepreneurs that work out in our home already. Okay, so we're already pretty used to the work out of our home scenario, although we do leave and go to lunches and those kind of things. So that's different. The biggest change for us is having other people in the house all the time. So that in itself is an adjustment. And we might actually take one of these upcoming lemonade sessions that are coming up this month and actually talk about ways to survive. Ways to work with everybody there. And last night I thought it's like working through interruptions, because that is, I mean, I don't know about Terry, I know you got 3 kids and your husband home. I just have my husband home, and I'm not used to him being around all the time. And it's different, you know.
It is. And
yeah. So it's like, we just have to face it. You know, it is different.
And it's really getting more clear on all the things that we've always talked about, you know, putting that schedule in place and blocking time and locking yourself in your office if you have work to do, or making a list of things that you want to do and check them off. I mean, it's no different than what we've ever done. It's being more on purpose, I guess, doing things really more focused and really more on purpose, so that you can get through the things. Otherwise, this whole month is going to go by and we're going to go, what the heck? Nothing's changed in the same place, except maybe about 15 pounds heavier because I kept running to the refrigerator. I mean,
oh my gosh. That is so true.
I saw a meme the other day that was a young woman that was all cute and in shape with a cute little red negligee on in the refrigerator. You just saw the back of her. And then it said after the pandemic, and it put her 50 pounds heavier with her head in the refrigerator. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know, I saw that too. I thought, oh my gosh, because I'm an eater. That's the thing. And so one of the ways that I'm going to be be intentional, and I have to say it's getting delayed every day. I'm going to start it, right? But one of the things that I've thought of that would really, I would feel better at the end of this time of 2 weeks, a month, whatever the time is if I just increased my exercise, because I've been doing nothing. So let me just tell you that anything is an increase. So Bill and I have taken a walk. And the first day, this is so bad, I hate to even admit this, I was shocked. I mean, we went one time around our neighborhood, and it's only like a half a mile. I mean, it's not that long. But I was like, I just was tired. I said, this is bad, but I think I have to go in. So then the next day, it was a little easier. And we figure within the next day or two, we'll be able to make it 2 times around the neighborhood. But it's putting things in place for us so that at the end of the time, we're going to feel better, right? And
getting some great habits if we take advantage of it.
Yeah.
If we bury our head and we feel sorry for ourselves and we feel like victims, then it's gonna get worse. It's gonna
absolutely, absolutely.
Step
in. And I'm going to share. So y'all know I'm on the John Maxwell team, and he's been doing these. I don't even know what you call them, webinars, somethings where he teaches and all. I never know the difference between the live streams and the other, but it is live and whatever. So, but one of the things he was talking about, and I really really loved it, is like, okay, so yeah, let's just call it what it is. Right now, we can say that we are in a crisis. We are in an event. Things are happening. Life is changing. It is never going to be the same. So, to say that it's different, it's just lying to ourselves. So we might as well be honest. But the good news is we have a choice of what we're going to do with it. And everybody has it. So you're not alone. That's the other thing. None of us is alone. We are in this together. So that is a good thing. And some people, and here's what he said that I thought was pretty profound. It's like you knew it, but to hear somebody actually say it. And he says, some people will take the bad situation and make it good, and others won't. And they'll just like, look what's happening to me, and their life will not change. They will not grow, and they won't be any better, and I don't want to be that person. Well, I'm not going to be the person. I'm already choosing that. And that's what I want to encourage our listeners to, is that decide what you want to be different. And it could be as easy as, one thing, taking a walk. Every day I tell myself that my eating patterns are going to get better, and yet they haven't. I've been eating sugar every darn day. So then I told Bill yesterday, I said, well, maybe I have to give myself April 1st to be my starting point. I have to work up to it, because I know that I would feel better. And then the other thing is, before we get into some other details, is that never forget who's really in charge. The thing is, we are not alone. Okay. Not only are we not alone in dealing with the situation, but we have a mighty God. We are, most of you, I think, that watch and partake in the things that we do here, are believers. We are people of faith, and we have a mighty God who is so much bigger than this. I mean, my goodness. I mean, he spoke the world into being with just his words. So he is there, and this is a time for us to look at our lives and what changes maybe in your each individual lives is God wanting you to make a change during this. Maybe you've known inside that you need to step out and own your own business, but you just haven't done it. And you know what? Crisis puts you in a situation to make change. You're in the change, so why not make it for your benefit? You follow that? You see what I'm talking about there, Terry? You understand?
I do.
Make sense?
It's how we choose to move forward. It's our choice. We can either choose to think of it as, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever, or we can choose to make it the best thing ever, just simply on how we move forward with what we're doing. It's about really sharing our gifts with others in a different way. We just have to shift the way we do things. And sometimes it takes something like this, with somebody banging something over their head going, okay, are you paying attention here? And make that slight shift. And like all of a sudden, like all kinds of things start opening up to the things that we have available to us. My 56th birthday was on Sunday.
Happy birthday! Woo!
Not that I feel like we always do a big party, because we don't, but we'd all been locked in for a week. So my daughter came up with this cute idea, and it was happy quarantary. Um, join our socially something soiree. Socially, I'm going to pull it up because it's so.
It was very cute. It was very cute.
And we just made fun of the whole thing, and at the bottom of it, she even said, all are welcome to join unless you have a virus on your computer. I mean, it was just, and everybody made birthday hats, and we played an online game, and there was probably 15 or 20 people on. And, you know, if you can make the best of what you have, it just shifts the way everyone starts to think. So, you know, I think that's the time that we're in right now. And if we can make choices, I have a couple of friends that have, they own gyms, or they are trainers, and they're like, okay, so I got no money coming in, so what can I do different? And they're shifting to online classes, and, you know, maybe not charging, you know, maybe it's $5 just to show up, but it's giving them a little income, and it's shifting, and they're being able to do one to many instead of one to, say, 10. So, you know, it's just really shifting on how we do things.
Yeah.
I think there's opportunities in all kinds of different businesses to just get creative. You know, this is the time to sit back and go, you know, maybe have a little powwow with some of your friends and going, okay, what can I do different? You know, how can we shift this and make it work for you? So it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I think so too. And I want to challenge all of you to do that. And I want to hear your stories. Because as we get on to these different dates, which again, as I said, are posted, and you know, there's no charge for this. This is just my way of reaching out to you so we can all connect. But I want to hear your stories. And I actually, okay, I'm just going to put this out there. I would like to write a book. I would like to write a book based on your stories, but you have to share your stories. And you know, and the way that to do that is to be thinking about what does your day-to-day look like. And Terry, you had a great idea a little while ago, and I think if we do that you're going to tell us, then they would be more prepared to share the story with me.
Yes, exactly. You know, I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine and with my kids, actually. I said, you know, this is an epic time. You know, it doesn't have to be an epidemic or a pandemic. It could be epic. If we choose to make it epic, let's make it epic. And if we just journal every day with all the things that we're seeing or that we're going through, and where we're at emotionally, where we're at physically, how our family is reacting, because this is a time, you know, that our kids and our grandkids and our kids' kids and like, they're going to look back in history and they're going to have our account on what that really looked like and how we really lived through it. So if we just take the time every day, just, you know, and some of you already probably have journaling habits. I wish I could say I was one of them, but I'm not. But, you know, because when this first started, I had a little fear, but now I'm so excited. I know that we're all going to be okay. I just, you know, envision yourself a year from now. What's your life going to look like? Envision yourself 5 years from now. What's your life going to look like? You know, like, put that out into the world and into the energy in the world, and watch what actually starts to happen. Don't get caught up in that negative, there's no toilet paper. Like, call a neighbor. Like, I have toilet paper if anybody needs it. I mean,
Alicia and I lost
what's
you
that?
Alicia, my daughter, and I were talking the other day, and she says, well, you know, Mom, if we think about, you know, how did people do it before we had all these things? You know, the pioneers, you know, whatever. Life, you can do life without all the extras that we have. But we're spoiled. Let's just face it. You know, we're spoiled overall. Our country certainly is over the rest of the world. I mean, you know, we're always told that. And so if we have to scale back some, if we have to do life differently, it's not going to hurt us. And chances are it's going to help us. And one of the things that you mentioned earlier, I think the whole thing with kids, that is probably one of the biggest things right now that families with children in school. It's college as well, but even more so elementary and high school. And there's some sadness that's happening. And, it's like we never want to make light of the struggle, y'all. This is going to be struggle. It is an uphill battle, but you will make it. You will make it. And, there's those that are not going to have the regular kind of graduation like they were planning.
That's my daughter is a senior in college, has a double major, and they canceled the last 3 months of her school, or 2.5 months. And she came home devastated.
Yeah.
We're just shifting, look, like one of the things that she was doing was an LA showcase, which she was supposed to spend a long weekend in LA. Well, now the school's letting them do videos to send to the people that they're making it work. I mean, they're shifting. And if we can all just be okay with that, it's just to do normal. That's what it is.
It really is. And I think that is a very important point. And as you can see, there are so many topics within this whole lemonade conversation. But if today, the one thing you can get in the conversation is that we're all going through it. Everybody in the world, everybody in our country is going through this time. And we get to choose how we're going to come out on the other side. What do you want your life to look like? What choices can you make today? Because, if you look at your life, as Terry was saying there a minute ago, if you think of your life a year from now, the choices that you're making today are going to determine where you are next month, next year. So think about your choices and don't just feel like everything's rolling over you. We cannot control what the government says. We can't control that Vegas is dark. I mean, this is weird here. There's no shows. The casinos are closed. You go into the drugstore, and y'all might not know this, but in Vegas, we have casino areas in the drugstores and in the grocery stores. So once I got over that, when I first moved here, that was the biggest shock that that was even true. But now to go in and they're all like closed off, and so and you drive down the streets and things are so it is different. So
we have some comments here, Delinda.
Good, because I can't see anything.
Allison Laws, I'm making reusable face masks at work, 8 down, 12 more to go. Then the next batch will be delivered. Brenda Kempton, I do 10 minutes of writing gratitude, 10 minutes before I go to sleep. So those are my last thoughts in my mind before going to sleep. So
I love it. That's great on both of you.
And then Susan Nix is on, and Kat is on. Hey, Kat, how are you, girl?
Welcome. I wish I could see your names, but thank you, Terry, for reading that, because I don't see it.
Jessica Mendoza, good morning from Lockdown Catley.
Good morning.
So yeah, we have some people on. Larry Schneider, Lockdown in KC. So, and Kathy Weaver, there you are. Popped in.
So yay. And I know we got just a few minutes left. But life is not going to be normal. So that is the thing. If you can get it out of your head, just right now, change your perspective that life is never going to be the normal that was last month. Okay, whatever that was for you, life's never going to be that way. And that's okay. Okay, so that's where you have to change your perspective is, okay, if that's not going to be normal, what is? We're going to have a new normal, and we get to choose what that's going to be. And as we
bob and weave. And,
we're walking the journey. We're making it now. And that's the exciting part. And if you can, it is a mental game, y'all. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Yes. It really is. All the things that happen to us, we can't change the environment now, but we can change how we adapt to it and how flexible we're going to be with that. So
we can either be a victim and happening to us, or we can think how this is all happening for us, shifting the perspective on how we move forward with it.
Yeah.
And wow, it just opens up so many possibilities because everything is available to us.
Right.
We get caught up in that victimhood because that's just not a happy place to be.
No. And I just choose not to live there. I mean, I'm just not going to live that, nor you. And most of our viewers out there, I think that is. But some of you, I do know some of you struggle with that. And this is not putting blame or any of that on you. I want you just to know that there are options. And if you find something that you just can't see another option, contact me.
Oh,
Call me, private message, whatever, because I do want to, for some reason, that is a gift that God's given me. I can always see another option. I can see another way of looking at things. And so if I can help you in any way, and I see Terry shaking her head because I know she is very much that way too. And many of you are, and people within our sphere, okay, and within our group that are that, and they would be happy to share with you, because sometimes you just need to get it out. And I always let somebody just tell me where they are once, and then we come up with some choices, and then we move on. We are not going to suck on this lemon all day long. Okay, so are you going to make lemonade, or are you going to suck on the lemon? Because there's going to be those, and y'all know them. They're going to be like taking pictures of every horrible wrong thing that's happening. And 5 years from now, all they're going to do is talk about how awful it was and how they were put upon and all that.
They're just going to keep reliving that. And that emotional feeling is going to still be stuck inside of them.
Yeah.
Like, don't go there, people.
Yeah, really don't, because you can change. So be intentional. Think about the things that you want. So what do you want to do a little bit differently in your personal time? In your faith time? Maybe you want to, start reading different books of the Bible. Maybe in your family time, maybe start playing board games or watch a movie every night together. What do you want to do in your thinking time? Are there books that you've been wanting to read? I've got a stack of John Maxwell books that I'm going to read, and so I'm thinking, okay, this is a great time. I'll just start on one and finish it and start the next one, right?
I have to tell you a story about my son. I know we have to go. He and his girlfriend, they still could do whatever they wanted to do when they were prior to all of this. And for some reason now, because they weren't real, they'd go to the movies once in a while or go out to dinner, but not crazy partier goer, right? They're putting jigsaw puzzles together. They're going to the park and throwing a football with each other. They're going on long walks with the dog. I mean, things they could have done before, but something has shifted inside of them without even realizing they could have done all of that before, but they're making the best of what we have now and really intentionally spending time together. It's really fun to watch.
That is great. And the truth is, most people, the majority of the country, have more time now. Now, we always have had the same amount of time. That's about what you're saying. But for those of you who have been working outside the home, working a job that you can no longer go to work, you have the kids or grandkids at home with you. It's that setting new schedules. And, I think the school, and maybe, Terry, we may talk about in one of the next ones about the whole, the change that's happening within the schools. I think this could be huge, because we have needed change in our schools. And those kids who cannot sit still all day, they don't learn by just having stuff pounded into them all day. They're going to have more interactive learning. And I love teachers. Let me tell you, I think teachers should be the highest paid professionals in our country. I absolutely do. They have a hard job. They have so much to teach our children. And I think they would be the first to say that there's a change. They are often held down by the rules and the government and all of that stuff. So that's a whole big topic. And homeschoolers.
I'm sorry.
We're
over our time, but I wanted to just say prayers for all the healthcare workers and the grocery store workers and the teachers that are trying to shift what they're doing and teach from home. Because, we've been talking about all of us that have gotten locked home, but there's still so many people out, still putting their lives in harm's way, really, if they don't take care. So lots of prayers to all of you, if you know anyone in your families or whatever that are going through all of that, because that's a totally different shift than what we're experiencing at my house. So if you have a doctor or a nurse or a hospital worker or people that are on that front line all the time, take care and lots of love from.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Terry. And that is true. My nail tech, of course, at the end of this, all of us, our hair and nails and all that will be probably pretty bad. But I'm not talking about that. But her husband and her son and her daughter-in-law are all on the Las Vegas police force.
Yeah.
So just prayers for all those first responders, and as you said, the nurses and those that are still working and there for us, doing those things for us. So we do want to send prayers to them. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Remember, everybody's invited to our luncheon, our Zoom luncheon. Go to our Zoom room and join us on Thursday. It's 11:30 Vegas time, so that's going to be 1:30 Kansas, and the rest of y'all figure it out.
11:30 here. I think we should have a little contest on the prettiest plate. Everybody bring their lunch to the Zoom, and we can have a little contest on who makes the prettiest lunch.
How funny. Okay, so Terry, you post that on our thing. Okay, so if we're having lunch at 11:30, I might have to just show my plate. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get creative, aren't I? That is great. All right, everybody. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. I apologize that I cannot read the post. Thank you for posting whatever you did. I'll go back later and say hello. Any last minute posts we need to look at there, Terry?
No, we just had a few comments just that I'm here, and it's all good. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Terry, for being here. Yay.
Love you guys.
And I want somebody to join me every Tuesday. So if you want to be on the show and let's talk about lemonade over these next couple of weeks, let me know, because I'd love to have you on the show. Take care. Remember that life is not, this is a perfect time for it too. Life is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Choose what you want. Choose how you want to come through on the end of this. And have a beautiful day. God bless you, and I love you. Bye now.
Bye.